Arkadiusz Kosciuszko. He's that guy on the left with the tri-corner hat. He was a Polish military engineer that volunteered for American forces during the Revolutionary War. Coming up straight ahead here, we have Swan Memorial Fountain. Swan Memorial Fountain has three main memorial figures representing the main watersheds of Philadelphia: the Delaware River, the Schuylkill River, and the Wissahickon Creek. Today, this fountain reaches height of about 25 feet. Back in the day, it used to go all the way up to 50 feet, but they found that people were having to use their windshield wipers just to drive by the fountain, so they kind of turned it down ever so slightly. On the right here, the Free Library of Philadelphia. This building was designed in 1927 by Julian Francis DeBell. He was the first black graduate at the University of Pennsylvania School of Architecture. You might be wondering, why is it called a free library? Aren't all libraries free? Well, at the time of opening, there was an existing library system here in the city, the Philadelphia Library. It was founded by Benjamin Franklin, and it operated on a paid monthly subscription service. So now we've got the free library. Coming up, I'm going to have our next stop of the tour at the Barnes Foundation. Is anyone looking to make this next stop at the Barnes? Nobody up top. The Barnes Foundation coming up on the right, and watch out for these trees on the right as well, folks. The Barnes Foundation houses the largest collection of Impressionism and Post-Impressionism pieces outside of Europe and the world. There's about 189 Renoirs, 149 Cézannes, about 69 Matisses, 46 Picassos. The collection as a whole is estimated to be valued at about $25 to $30 billion. Coming up in a little bit here, I'll have our next stop of the tour at the Rodin Museum. Is anyone looking to make this next stop at the Rodin? Nobody up top. Inside the Rodin, which is also going to be coming up on our right here, you'll find the largest collection of Auguste Rodin's works outside of his home country of France. There's about 86 of his pieces in there, which don't seem like a lot, but he's a sculptor, so they take up a lot of space. Once this light turns green, we'll be coming up on one of his most notable works, and I'm going to give you some time to think, if you know what it might be. Alright, I hope you were thinking critically. Because here it comes on your right. It's one of 5 original casts of The Thinker. There's also a piece a little bit more inside the museum. It's called The Gates of Hell. It's based on Dante Alighieri's The Divine Comedy. And The Thinker is actually a part of that piece. He got so famous on his own, folks don't usually know that. He'd sit on top and it said The Thinker is pondering whether or not hell exists. People honk when you're braking for pedestrians who have the right of way. It's like, oh, first time driving the city, huh? You don't know about the crosswalks, huh? Alright, anyway, coming up ahead on the left here. We're gonna find a nice funky looking brown brick building. This building is called the Parkway House. The Parkway House was designed in 1954 by Elizabeth Fleischer, making it the first major building in the city to be designed by a woman. It looks this funky on purpose. It was Elizabeth's original intention with her design that each room in the Parkway House would receive an equal amount of sunlight regardless of the time of day. Right now we're driving through the Fairmount neighborhood. Fairmount has the highest natural elevation in the city. William Penn came here in the 1680s, stood atop the elevation, looked over his city and said, ah, what a Fairmount. And what's the name of the city? Alright, I don't know if that's really true, but I like to think that it is. Another nearby neighborhood is that of Brewery Town, and Brewery Town got to start how it sounds. All the breweries in town were there. Then in the 20s, Prohibition came about, outlawing the sale and distribution of alcohol, and all those breweries in Brewery Town shut down. They never quite got their foot back up, even after Prohibition ended. Today, there aren't really any functioning breweries in Brewery Town. One famous Philadelphia family made their fortune off those breweries. That was the Bergdahl family. The most well-known of the Bergdahls was Grover Cleveland Bergdahl. He was Philadelphia's most infamous millionaire playboy, World War I draft dodger. His mother hid him in their mansion for 2 years to avoid the draft. After 2 years, he was discovered and arrested. He then fled his arrest and made it all the way to Germany, where he was discovered again by bounty hunters who he attempted to fight off, earning him the nickname the Fairmount Fighting Slacker. Coming up through this light on the left side of the street here, we'll find the Bergdahl mansion where he was hidden for 2 years. If it looks a little familiar to you, you might be a fan of the 1999 film The Sixth Sense. The Bergdahl mansion was used in the production of this film. Today, it's luxury apartments. And coming up straight ahead at the end of this road, we're going to find the 30-foot high surrounding walls of Eastern State Penitentiary. Eastern State opened up in 1829 as the world's first penitentiary. It was a little bit different than the prisons and jails they had seen at that point in the world, as its aim was to rehabilitate. It was founded on some Quaker ideals of simplicity and solitude. Inmates at Eastern State would face 24/7 solitary confinement, earning it the nickname the Maniac Maker.